what I'm going to walk you through right now is the specifics for creating a character um, that will be used in Pathfinder Society organized play. So, specifically, second edition Pathfinder. And what the differences are when you're using something like Hero Lab Online. So, this is really a Hero Lab Online tutorial more than anything, because there are some specifics. You've used Hero Lab before that pertain to Pathfinder Society organized play that you'll want to be aware of. So we're going to go about creating a character, brand new one. Now just focus on the specifics for this tutorial. So we're going to create a fellow by the name of Bilbo the Halfling. Of course, he's a halfling. And the simple thing to do is to check off this little checkbox for Pathfinder Society organized play character. So that's the easy thing here. And I'm going to deliberately not do that just so that you see how you can fix that if you do neglect to do that. You won't need to recreate your character, but if you forget to do that for whatever reason, no big deal. So I've created this character named Bilbo. And when I click in on him, it's my normal screen for creating a character. But I realized pretty quickly, hey, look, I forgot to do that. So how do I make sure he is a organized play character? In that, you go into settings on the left-hand side here. And this is where all of your settings apply for organized play or for your character in total. So what you've got access to, what you don't have access to. So there's some specific content you'll see I have and don't have. And because of that, you might want to toggle off specific things. When you're playing an organized play character, you may not necessarily have the stuff for the adventure paths unless you've got Chronicles applied to them. So let's assume that poor old Bilbo here, I know that I'm not applying any of those Chronicles to him, so I'm going to turn off the stuff for Age of Ashes and Extinction, and the Extinction Curse I have. But maybe I plan to apply a Chronicle for Fall of Plaguestone to him. So it's fine. I'll leave that on. The most important part that you're going to want to do here is under the core options here. There's a section for Pathfinder Society. And the first checkbox is what you'll want here, this Pathfinder Society organized play character. The second one is if you're using the content for organized play in a casual manner, so like factions and boons, but it's not an actual org play character, then it gives you some of that content here. But we're going to assume that this character is specifically for organized play. So I checked that little checkbox, and that toggles a couple extra things here. You'll notice that the first thing I got in my validation report on the right-hand side is I need a player ID for this character. So let's look at the specifics we need to do for organized play. I'm going to ignore the usual stuff around character creation here, so there's still going to be lots of errors, but the first thing you'll need to do is put in your organized play number. So I'm just going to put in any old number. 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't type today. And then, of course, your character number, update that. You also need to pick a faction. So, pretty simple process. You click the little plus and you pick the faction here. I'm going to pick Grand Archive. All right, now that I've picked that, a couple other things show up. You can see the Boons section shows up here. And this is where you would add in specific boons here. Now, org play tends to change a little bit. So I will caveat all this with the fact that sometimes there's a little bit of lag between what Hero Lab Online has versus what the recent changes in organized play. So when you watch this, things could be different. So I'm going to show you based on what it is in Hero Lab Online today. If I click the little plus, it shows me essentially the boons that are current boons. I have the ability to toggle off invalid choices, of course. And it'll show me everything that I have in the list here. I'm just going to keep it to what I've got. Level 1 character. Let's say I'm wearing a shirt, because I pretty much play, and every time I'm at a convention, I play with my shirt on, my Pathfinder shirt on specifically. So I will get and pick my promotional investments boon. I'll just add that on here. You'll see, of course, it shows me up as one of my other boons to show up here. But I can see the slotted boon for the Grand Archive Champion and my promotional investments. if I were higher level and I had advanced boons available, I could pick one of those. And if I had other boons here, I might want to add some of those in, because that's one nice thing about this is you can create or add your own custom boons as well too. Stuff that you'll get off of Chronicle sheets and whatnot. You can stick those on here, and it'll track those for you. Pretty simple. Once I've done that, the other thing to do is, well, complete filling out the rest of the character here. But I'm going to skip that and focus on the specifics for organized play, because most of this is going to be run-of-the-mill playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition. But for organized play, there are just a couple other specifics here. Actually, I do neglect one thing here, and that's specifically the Pathfinder training. So you're obviously, your choices in 2nd Edition organized play is to either be a field agent or to be associated to one or multiple schools. So let's just assume that good old Bilbo here, part of the School of Swords. So all I need to do is add that choice. Actually, you know what? For the sake of things, we're going to split it up. He's part of the School of Swords and Scrolls. I'm going to add 2, just so you get a sense for what this looks like here. It's not normally something I do as a player, but you'll get a sense for how this works to have multiple ones here. So I've added the 2 here, but you'll notice that you can have essentially 3 trainings. So I theoretically could have scrolls, swords, and spells. Not that necessarily I want to do that. Let's say I wanted to focus on swords, but I still have that 1 unspent. How do I make sure that I recognize that I've got the 2 points? Well, when I click on swords, it gives me, of course, a description for all the stuff. This is consistent for all of those schools, so you can see it there. But it shows you also the items that you have, item options you get for that. But what I want to do is indicate what kind of how many network points I've associated to the School of Swords. In this case, I'm going to bump this up to 2 because I am putting 2 of my 3 into that. Great, that's done. The next thing that's occurred is now I have a skill that needs to be trained for it. So when you go into your skills section in your lab online, you'll see that there's an option now for your swords in the columns there. So you get to choose a specific lore, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm going to go back to profile and pull up swords because I don't remember what ones are associated to it. So this is where I'm going to look at it. My choices are gladiatorial lore, scouting lore, or warfare lore. And the bonus feats, which will come later, are those. So I'm going to take scouting lore. So to do that, I go to my skills. And I see the skill is not in there. I don't have scouting lore as one of my skill options here. But you can add it in easily by using the plus at the top and then just searching for scouting. Add and close. And now I have that option on there. So once I've determined, yes, I'm going to add scouting lore, I hit the little checkbox and that goes away. That validation problem goes away for my profile. So remember here, it was showing me that as a problem before. It's gone away now. So that takes care of most of my choices here. The next thing that would need to happen is, I'd fill in all of my character information after I'm ready to go. And then I'll play a game. So we're going to fast forward a bit and imagine for a second that we've played our first scenario. I'm putting in a journal entry. And I'm recording the first scenario that I've played here. So this will be a little bit different for Pathfinder Society than it is for a regular Pathfinder game, because the way experience is done is different. So if you've played and seen this dialogue before, when you're adding in a journal entry, you'll notice that it is different this time around for Society. It calls out specific factions you want to put your reputation against, what amount of XP you got from that. So we're going to say, I don't know, we'll put in 1 here for the sake of things. We know that the XP gains are actually 12. So let's say it's a scenario, not a quest. And I'll put in 4. Fame and reputation rewarded. We'll also say 4. We did a good job. And I got in... I'm just making up numbers here at this point. I can't think of what this might be, but we'll put in 20. Let's put in 14. 14 gold pieces. We don't need to fill in anything else. If I earned infamy, then I would indicate how much infamy I earned. theoretically, you'll probably have whatever goal you got from your scenario plus any kind of day job check you may have made. But we're just going to leave that as simple as that. Once I've made all those choices here, put in the name of the scenario. Scenario 1, fun in the society. I've totally made up a scenario that doesn't exist, but you get the idea. I click add wealth or XP, and now I've got that essentially my Chronicle recorded for this character. Do this enough times, get 2 more of these in this case here, and my character will level up and I have more to fill out. But that's in terms of specifics that pertain to recording Pathfinder Society organized play information in Hero Lab Online. As always, if there are any questions or comments, feel free to send them along, and I'll happily respond to them when I get a chance. Thanks again.